Hello, welcome back to Drippy Drez's channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about movies that have successfully delivered positive messages. Some of these movies are popular and successfully deliver positive messages, while some of these movies aren't that popular but still deliver positive messages. And that's it, because otherwise I would ruin the entire purpose of this video. Well, without further ado, let's get started. No, I am not going in order from best to worst because that is a whole nother argument. I am going in order by release date, and this is, from what I've seen, the first movie to successfully deliver positive messages. While it fails to deliver the messages that the screenplay says it should deliver, it does serve as a classic feminist movie that shows how much Hollywood has changed. Up next is Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Well, at the time, it served only as a fight against racism. Nowadays, it serves as a movie that shows what Shrek 2 was trying to be like. Up next is 16 Candles. I know a lot of people criticize this movie because some scenes haven't aged well. However, it still goes to show that in order for a relationship to work, both people need to have the same perception on what a relationship should look like. In what is probably the least popular movie from John Hughes, Some Kind of Wonderful follows Keith Nelson as he asks out the most popular girl in school. Meanwhile, his best friend Watts becomes jealous. No, this isn't another one of those classic love stories that goes to show the importance of true love. This is a movie that goes to show that it's better to be alone for the right reasons than around someone for the wrong ones. Up next, we have The Burbs. This classic Tom Hanks movie goes to show that if you tell yourself that it's a comedy, your brain's gonna look for proof that it's true, and you're gonna believe that it's a comedy. Up next is Pretty Woman. When wealthy businessman Edward Lewis picks up a beautiful stranger on a lark, sparks fly, and he asks her to be his escort for the week. He teaches her about the finer things in life, and she teaches him that love might be the best investment he's ever made. In Ghost, when Sam Wheat suddenly dies, the love of his life, Molly, is now in danger. So, in order to reconnect with her, he has to get in touch with a spiritualist named Oda Mae Brown and convince her to warn Molly before it's too late. In What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Johnny Depp, struggles with taking care of his mentally ill brother and his overweight mom. But when a beautiful stranger rides into town, she shows him interesting new possibilities for his life. No, this is not a sequel to Pretty Woman. Runaway Bride is about a small-town girl named Maggie who keeps ditching men at the altar. When reporter Ike Graham hears about her, he ends up having to meet her in order to keep his most recent article published. There, sparks fly, and he ends up helping her realize why she kept ditching men at the altar. Yes, Elf does contain a positive message, and it's not just to always be nice. It's also that no matter how long you've been a certain way, it's never too late to change. Elizabethtown is a movie about a guy named Drew Baylor who is just about to end it all when he gets a phone call telling him that his dad has died and that he's expected to deliver the suit at the funeral. Along the way, he ends up meeting a quirky flight attendant who shows him that life is worth living. Yes, Last Holiday also delivers that message. Both the first and second Madagascar movies do a great job of showcasing the lesson that it doesn't matter if somebody has it better or worse. All feelings are valid. We all have our own shit to deal with in life, and we should all focus on dealing with it. If you do not believe in paying attention to the who, what, where, when, why, and how, then He's Just Not That Into You should be the movie at the top of your watch list, and quite possibly the only movie that you ever watch in your life. After facing an endless streak of bad luck with men, Gigi asks bartender Alex for advice, and he tells her that if a guy shows these signs, then he's just not that into you. Meanwhile, her friends face other problems in life, and by the end of the movie, we learn that with each of these rules, there's always the one exception. 500 Days of Summer definitely failed to deliver its positive messages when it first came out, but now that people know that it failed to deliver its positive messages, it ended up succeeding at delivering its positive messages. Megamind does do a great job of showing that good will always triumph over evil. It also does a great job of showing that you should judge people based on their actions. My only problem with this movie is that while it does a great job of showcasing that, it doesn't take the time to explain that there's a difference between judgment and perception, and that just because you judge someone a certain way doesn't mean that you should perceive them a certain way. In Zookeeper, years after Griffin Keyes is dumped by his girlfriend, she shows up back into his life, and the animals at the zoo he works at are afraid that he's gonna want to get back together with her. So they reveal to him that they can talk and give him advice, that way he'll mess up his relationship with her. No, this isn't the Wizard of Oz. This is Oz the Great and Powerful. When shady circus magician Oscar Diggs lies about being this great hero in order to gain fame and fortune throughout the land, he ends up having to use his fake magic in order to defeat a real wicked witch. It breaks my heart that so many people still haven't seen this movie. In Home, when an alien race that doesn't have common sense decides to invade Earth, one of them becomes a fugitive and befriends this human girl that teaches him how to sing and dance. In Bad Moms, when stressed out woman Amy, Kiki, and Carla decide to go out and party and be, well, bad moms, they end up learning that it's not about being the perfect parent, it's about setting a good example for your kids. I, Tonya tells the tragic story of figure skater Tonya Harding and how she ended up being associated with one of the greatest scandals in sports history. For those of you getting all fired up, yes, this movie did come as a result of Shrek 2. Isn't It Romantic goes to show the importance of self-love, while Trolls World Tour does a great job of showcasing the lesson that we're all the same and we're all different. I know a lot of you probably think that's just common sense, but a lot of people don't really recognize that lesson. There's people out there who think that we're pretty much all the same, but just a little bit different, when that couldn't be further from the truth. Well, the original Pinocchio definitely failed to deliver its positive messages. The live-action one does the exact opposite. In this one, we actually learn that Geppetto had a son that died, and that's why he created Pinocchio. And it does a better job of showcasing the lesson on what it means to be a real person. Wicked does touch on the importance of not discriminating against animals. However, that's not what I felt the main lesson of this movie was. I felt that the main lesson was not everything is LGBTQ. And I know some of you are like, wait, that makes no sense. Everybody knows that. Why would that be portrayed in a movie? No, not everybody knows that. Most people think they know that, when in reality they don't, because how often does somebody refuse to do something or not do something or not allow their kid to do something in fear that it might come across as gay? Well, how did I do? Are there any movies that you feel delivered positive messages that I didn't mention in this video? If so, feel free to let me know via the comment section below. And remember, just because I come out with a new video does not mean that I want any of my previous videos to be ignored. As a matter of fact, I don't want my new ranking of the Shrek movies to be ignored at all. I want people to continue sharing it, and I want the entire world to see that video, because let's face it, whether we realize it or not, we've all been negatively impacted by the Shrek series, and my new ranking of the Shrek movies is the perfect video to get people to reflect on, well, how they've been impacted by each of the Shrek movies. And once we've all done that, we'll be able to accept what happened and move forward with our lives. Well, thank you all so much for watching this video. Feel free to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Please continue sharing my new ranking of the Shrek movies even after this video is done premiering. Please continue sharing this video even after my next one is done premiering, and so on and so forth. And I cannot wait to read your comments in the comment section below.